Hi guys, I am so excited to be here today for the third installment of 5-Minute Florals, and I have something really exciting here, which is dahlias and eglantine David Austin roses grown from our own garden. So I thought today we would talk about how to create different sort of flowers for your art journaling and in your sketchbooks. So let's get into it. Okay guys, so today I thought we could talk about the shape, colour and size of petals and flowers and how you can create different flowers, just changing those three things. And so as you can see, last time we did the David Austin roses, kind of based on these eglantine ones that we have growing in our garden. And so here's a great example of the different petals as well, and different shapes and colours that you can have in petals. And then here we have just, so this is just a very regular 5-petal flower. And you can see just based on the colours here, this looks more like a frangipani, and then if we change the colour to violet, we have a violet. That if we change the size and the colour, we have forget-me-nots. So then we just look at some variations on just your regular curved petal to make it more of a heart shape, and you can see even enlarging the flower what an impact that can have. And then here I was just kind of practicing some kind of overlapping techniques, but we'll do those in the next video, because that's a little bit more than 5 minutes to kind of wait for those to dry and then add overlapping petals. Okay, so let's look at some of the different shapes that we can create. So we have the regular 5 petals, so I usually start with 1 at the top, 2 at the sides, and then 2 below that, and then round that into sort of the middle. Then we can just drop some of the center color in and let that bleed out a little bit to create some interest. And the other thing that we can do is just add a little next shape we can create is similar, so it's just the sort of a heart-shaped petal again, 1 at the top, 2 at the sides, and 2 at the bottom of that. And then you'll have the center there, and then we can add in a little bit of sort of center color and let that bleed a little. Now we also have flowers that have, for example, spiky sort of petals, pointy petals, and like larger centers. So we can do something like that. Let's see. Okay. Alright, and we might do another one of those down here. And so while I'm kind of doing this, I'm also thinking about sort of building up this page, building sort of a bouquet. So we'll end up with kind of flowers that complement each other. You're fine. Okay. And we can add in some smaller flowers with the little five petal shape here. Like some berries. We can create some of those roses that we did in the first episode, which are basically using the sort of 5 petal shape in the middle, and then we add some layers of different petals in there for the center of that rose. And then we get you can either use the same color and add more water, or I'm going to use a bit of Schminker Brilliant Pink, and just kind of, then we'll fill in the sort of those 5 points, and then we can start to open that rose out. Then we'll just add a little bit of, let's see, some yellow in here, and then we might also add a little bit of brown, just to kind of create that center. So let's do another rose, but we're going to do lighter colors, and we're going to make it bigger to see kind of what impact that has. So let's use some of this brilliant pink, and we're just going to create the 5-petal shape, and then we'll add the extra sort of petal layers. Now you don't have to be very precise because the petals aren't, you know, all uniform. Okay, and now I'm going to grab a bit of, so that was brilliant pink Holbein, and this is shell pink. And so again, we just fill out the sort of corners, and then we'll start to get a bit more water on the brush and start to fill out the larger sort of outlying petals here. Now if you don't have these colors, you can also use a dark pink or anything that you have, but to make it lighter, just add more water. So and then you just kind of keep filling in overlapping petals until you kind of feel like that the rose looks, you know, correct. And how you want it. So one of the things is, once some of those first petals have dried, you want to go back in and just sort of try and add a little bit of detail here in the you can also create completely different, so for example you can just do the 5 petal shape just with water, so we're not adding any colour yet. And then okay, and then we can just start dropping colour into that. And create a different effect that way. So we can drop water into the outer petals, and then a different colour into the inner part of the petal. So another type of rose we can create is starting from the middle here, adding some water, and I think we kind of covered this type of rose in the other one, but it's one of my favourite things to do. And you can see as you add more water, the colour gets paler and paler, and that's what it means when people say they're using the white of the paper, because the white sort of paper is showing through you're making the watercolour more transparent and lighter, and so then the colour's showing through. Okay, so something else you can do is once the flower has dried, I don't know if I'm going to mess this up, but once it's dried you can come in with another colour and some water and just kind of add some extra sort of colour there. And so here we'll do kind of a sunflower type. So we've got pointy petals now. And I don't really know, oh yeah. So you can kind of see here, do you want the colours to bleed into the petals or not? And then this is just a really fun thing that you can fill a page with. You can make some frames around other quotes that you're putting in an art journal or things like that. Now I'm just kind of adding some leaves, and I've tried to make kind of a burgundy colour with pink and brown. And so you can do smaller leaves, long skinny leaves, short thin leaves. Again, adding more water to make those leaves like a lighter consistency there. Okay guys, so that wraps it up for our third and probably final installment of 5-minute florals for now. And next time we will work on some overlapping florals and kind of how to do those. And apart from, I just did this kind of date with my favourite Winsor & Newton Gold ink and this Braw's nib pen. And the brush that I used today was the Escoda Reserva number 6, which I'll also link below. So I hope you've enjoyed this series, and next time we'll talk about kind of overlapping flowers. Bye for now.